Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Journey into Comics with your hosts, Nate Phillips and Brandon Stone.
I am a god, you dull creature.
Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of our Spider-Man Riff track. I'm sitting here with my co-host Nate.
Hey, how's it going, Brando?
What's going on, bud?
Not much, man. We were here 2 weeks ago doing the Spider-Man riff tracks. You got the first 25 minutes and 13 seconds of the movie. We're here to continue and finish this movie.
Yep.
So what we're going to do now is just want to make sure you're at 25 minutes and 13 seconds. You should see a Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker attempting to cross the street. Hopefully he doesn't get hit by a car. The movie would be very short.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's like a short, 30-minute short film. It's just like, hey, there's going to be Nope.
All right. So, folks, we're going to do this right now as fast as we can.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, hit play.
There we go. So we are playing. He's running down the street. And nothing seems odd at this point. He's just kind of ducking into an alleyway. People looking at him weird. He's got like a little goop thing where his web things come out. And see, and that's funny is that they kind of don't go into detail kind of about that they don't do any web shooters at all because he doesn't really do anything like super scientific in this series.
True. It's all kind of biological.
Yeah, we'll see. They go into the facts that that he's pretty smart, but in the other series that they did, they actually were more true to the comic, and he created stuff. So
I just caught an error.
What's that?
All right, when he starts climbing up the spider wall that he's climbing right now, he still has a little remnant of where he was bit on his hand. The very next shot, when we're looking down the building at him climbing up, there's nothing wrong with his hands.
Now, this is CG of him landing and jumping and running.
Yeah, which this is not really something that Spider-Man ever had. He never, in the comics, he didn't jump like that. He uses web shooters.
Yeah, well, see, that's just one thing is that as we're kind of reanalyzing this film, it in a short burst, it doesn't look bad. But when you pay attention to it, it doesn't look very well aged.
I agree with that. I like this scene.
Yeah.
Go web. Fly.
This was a good theater scene.
It was. The crowd almost always laughed, I'm sure.
Shazam.
Go. Go web go. And he does the little headbang. Yeah.
And he finds it.
Yep. He's like, there's the sweet spot.
What's funny is that since it's organic, right? Why is that the one thing? Because with the organic one, that's the black suit. That it's organic to the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Just does it for him. He does like a fist to do it.
Yeah.
And so, and when he does the actual hand thing with the shooters, his fingers are hitting the little button that
correct
make that come out. So I wonder exactly. They don't ever explain it. So now he's doing George of the Jungle.
Doesn't necessarily end so well.
No. He can't stop himself. And
smack. Oh, God, his balls hit first.
And so, see,
I don't like that.
What was he doing this whole time?
Correct.
Seriously. Look, I understand they had to set up the fact that he's being irresponsible. Of course, his uncle, I almost said his grandpa.
He kind of looks like his grandpa.
Grandpa Ben. But, his uncle obviously painted the entire thing. So they're setting up him being irresponsible, right?
Correct.
But what was he doing all that time?
He was trying to figure out how to fucking be Spider-Man, dude.
I know.
But I don't agree with how it was done because the way it's shot, he smacks a wall and the next thing you know, he's just running home.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like, was he knocked out or what was it?
Like, is there any consequence for hitting a wall that fast? I think there would be.
Yeah, there probably would be.
Even a super speed spider. That's hard to say.
Super speed spider. And, of course, this is a continuation from earlier in the film where
And all of a sudden, her jacket is, like, nicer than the rest of anything she owns. That's a nice-ass looking jacket.
I like how this is one of the first times that the two of them actually speak, and it's not awkward.
Yeah, and he's just... Do you think that he's already started to, in his character development, because, you know, as an actor portrays a character, they have to build this character.
Yeah.
Do you think at this point his character is starting to find that charisma?
A little bit. Maybe he's starting to feel more confident about himself because he's, like, cooler. He's actually finding something special about himself now.
Yeah. And he definitely has something special. I mean, he doesn't shoot webs out of his ass, which is good.
Yeah. But no, I really like that, you know, this is real. This isn't him being nervous around her. He's actually, he's nervous, but he's holding it together, not being super awkward about it. And so, I kind of like the fact that they kind of share their dreams together because it really points out where they're going.
Do you feel she's overdressed for at home?
Overdressed? Like,
yeah. Like, she looks like she would be on her way out the door to be in front of guys to show off her navel because of the belly button, you know?
Well,
but just at home, are you sporting a crop top in front of your dad?
Well, they were going. Well, she was going out anyway, and I thought maybe that was a reason why there was a big argument.
Oh, yeah. Totally. I was riffing about something else back then, so.
Right. Well, I mean, she said that she was heading out, so I would assume that Flash is coming to get her after he, you know, put a Band-Aid on his boo-boo. But at this point, I think that she's starting to see something in him that she didn't see before. And you can kind of see like the glossy look in his eye.
He is a bug-eyed motherfucker.
He is.
Appropriate. He played an arachnid. Come on now. That was perfectly set up.
I mean, what's funny is that he's totally hitting on her, but he's being genuine at the same time.
True. He's like, bitch, I grew 4 inches.
Dude, I hit puberty last night. You don't even know.
In a way that most people don't even understand. I've got shit shooting out of me you wouldn't believe.
Wait, is that a Prowler?
Was it really?
I think that was a P. Was it
a Plymouth Prowler?
Yeah.
Let's see. Do they show the car? I can tell you. That is, in fact, a Plymouth Prowler.
Dude.
Good fucking eye. They had that, there was a Gene Simmons edition Plymouth Prowler.
Get out of here.
That came with his axe base in the trunk.
That was me facepalming.
That was an amazing sound.
So now he's like, I got to get a cool car. It's like, I got to get something like a Prowler, like a Jaguar or a Porsche. But I can't afford that. It's going through all these cars. It's like, I need to get something that is like, that's going to impress the ladies. And of course, he's not looking at some of the cars that's really going to impress somebody. But now I like this because this is actually, you know, they didn't touch on this in the other Spider-Man series, right?
There was a minimal reference in The Amazing Spider-Man where Andrew Garfield's character falls through a roof and lands in a wrestling ring.
There's a reference. And where was he always this artistically inclined?
You know, I don't think so. This is the one thing that doesn't really add up to me. I think we joked about that in the first Riff Trax about Daredevil being able to draw, and Spider-Man is so artistic. How so?
Oh, look at that. He totally peeping Toms her.
Yeah, that was a slow-mo even.
Oh, dude, he's thinking about that. He's thinking about her getting home
after. That's a really comic booky looking ass
I know.
picture that he just drew.
But he is totally thinking about, you know, that he waited for Flash Thompson to drop her off, and she came in wrecked. And then he got to see her change. And now he's breaking stuff in his room.
Product placement with Coke, right?
Dr. Pepper.
It was Dr. Pepper.
I'm exercising. What?
I'm exercising. I'm not dressed. Do you exercise buck-ass naked, Brandon?
I know I do. Well, if MJ was over, I would, but...
True. And how is it that seconds before that, it didn't look like there was that much web in there, and then from the time he went to answer the door
I think that was a big kind of joke with the puberty thing, where it's kind of like when in that one MTV dating series, what was that called? Room Raiders, where they would take the black light and it'd just be everywhere. Yeah.
Room Raiders. Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Oh, man. And Uncle Ben the electrician.
Did you know that there's a Spider-Man who is Uncle Ben?
What?
Correct. So let me give you a little detail during the Spider-Verse, and then we'll cover this while they go to have their little one-on-one talk with great power and great responsibility. There's a version of Parker that died, and Ben takes the mantle of Spider-Man.
And he's old as hell?
He's older. He's not like 87 years. He's kind of frumpy, though. I will say he is kind of a little frump-a-dump. So, there is that.
So, I mean, this is the big scene right here. I mean, this is the scene that the rest of the whole darn trilogy sort of echoes. And so, basically, he's kind of scolding him for starting that fight, but, well, finishing it at least. And he's pretty much telling him that, you know, he needs to grow into the man that he's going to be, and he's going to do that, but he needs to, of course, the line.
The line that is almost at this point a parody.
Yes.
I mean, it's been... I actually think... Didn't Ryan Reynolds say something about playing Deadpool? He tweeted something about with great power comes great irresponsibility.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's being referenced now. Oh, and weird that it's just being said right now. But, that's a weird response from Parker. Hey, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm not going to be a criminal. Why would you say that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he totally he got defensive. He's trying to do his own thing here. The thing is that this is building on the irresponsibility thing as before, because he lies about where he's going, and then he lies about what he's doing, of course, and then of course he doesn't show back up on time. And what's funny is that you saw a little sliver of like the red, like underneath the jacket there.
Correct.
And that car just stands out. It's like, why they had to give the old man the old car?
Yeah, right? And this, I mean...
Hey, look, we're at TNA.
Really?
Okay. It's Yellow Ropes, NXT.
Kinda, yeah. You're going nowhere.
Is that Bubba Ray Dudley?
Kinda looked like him. It had the, It's not.
Yeah, no.
It almost looks like Bam Bam, but it's also not.
It's like Bam Bam made love with a bushwhacker.
And a Dudley popped out.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got Macho Man Savage playing...
Bonesaw McGraw.
Bonesaw. And, of course...
Bruce Campbell,
who is in pretty much... He's in all three of these.
Did I ever tell you the running theory that I had?
That he's Mysterio, right?
Exactly. Because he plays 3 different characters, and they're all closely tied to Parker one way or another.
Right.
And he is kind of slowly unraveling who Spider-Man really is. And I was hoping that by a 4th and maybe even a 5th movie, had that happened, that we would have been revealed that Bruce Campbell's character is actually Mysterio. And, you know... And that chick, she's, like, super popular now. She's in everything. I think she's in, like, Parks and Recreations, maybe. She was in Dinner for Schmucks.
Okay.
She was a chick that talked to dead pets.
So here's the thing, okay? I want to look at this. Have you ever been to a wrestling show that is laid out like this, where one guy is, like, the entire show? Like, where he just stands out there and then throws guys in and out, and then that's the entire show?
No.
No. I never have either. It's like, what's the main event?
Well, it's just Bonesaw.
I know, but...
This is almost like if wrestling did a fusion dance with, like, MMA.
Yeah, something like that.
And they kind of just, like, said, okay, well, there's going to be one guy in the ring, and if you don't, whoever's left standing, last man standing.
I like how they got Macho Man, though. I mean, it was a really cool thing for him to do here.
That was one of 2 movie roles that I know he did that were bigger hits. He was also in Bolt.
Oh, he was, wasn't he?
He was a voice actor. That movie was not very good, in my opinion. Like, I'm just going to tell it like it is. It made a lot of money, but I did not like that movie.
And then this, of course, is where he gets the name. The Amazing Spider-Man.
Again, referencing that it would be awesome if Mysterio.
And, of course, that's not the name he wanted. He was a human spider. And he looks like pretty much... And when does this happen in wrestling? The valets just get microphones and dress you down while you're walking to the ring.
And people throw popcorn at you even though it's your debut.
I know.
No music.
Oh, wow. She's really getting into it. She kind of looked like a jacked up Kimberly.
Kind of,
Hey,
sort
look
of.
at Psychosis. Who fused with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that was weird.
Kill him. Wow.
When do wrestlers kill each other?
File under dead.
D for dead. And then it's a cage match on top of that.
Now, interesting fact about this. Randy Savage actually insisted on doing all the stunts for this.
Really?
And this is what ended his wrestling career.
Really?
He got injured. He hurt his neck on the set.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
And so he needed surgery, and that ended his wrestling career. I mean, he was at the end anyway. This is what, 2001 when they're filming this, 2001. So he was, you're going nowhere. Yeah, I love that line.
You're going nowhere.
But no, yeah, during this he does a lot of they did takes, and of course he took a lot of bumps, and it ended it, man. And then it's kind of sad that that's how it went down, but it was his contribution, I guess, to cinema. And I like some of the shots here, him playing cat and mouse with Bonesaw.
And how is nobody freaking the fuck out that he just shot webs out of his hands?
I know, right?
No one said a goddamn thing. I would have thought there would have been a shot in the crowd where they were like, what the fuck?
And of course,
Did you see that? Did you see?
I know.
What the fuck was that,
This
man?
is an interesting cage, too.
Yeah, you can't climb it.
No. I mean, it's and he can even probably slide in through the holes. He could probably slip in through there. He's so skinny. Does he have a golf club? That's it right there.
Oh, that's it. That's the career.
I'm not sure if it was that take, but I think it was one of the. Wait, now hold on. So he won by TKO?
Yeah. And dude forgot the amazing. All that shit he just did, and he's just like, hey, Spider-Man.
Yeah. And of course he is. I like the goofy face. He's smiling, and the mask, it looks goofy as heck. And he gets stiffed.
There's supposed to be 3K.
Now get out of here. Beat it, kid. Webhead. I like that. The promoter here calling him Webhead for... And that's something that, some of the villains end up calling him in the comics.
Yep, and of course Webhead was coined by Mr. Stan Lee.
And insert... Now, who robs the wrestling promoter?
I don't know. Maybe somebody who knows the wrestling promoter's always having money and not paying his people?
Unless...
A disgruntled ex-employee?
Yeah, an ex-wrestler maybe. I don't know. It's interesting because it's just how random. It's like, I robbed a wrestling promoter. Yeah, and the cop's yelling at him and goes, dude, you're an innocent civilian. You let him go.
It's not my problem. Yeah.
Yep, that's the line. And, of course, that promoter looks like somebody that I've seen from other stuff. It's almost like it's almost like he kind of looks like, Phil Hartman or something.
That sentence didn't end how I thought it was going to.
Not...
Because I thought you were going to say, that promoter looks like a scumbag, and then you said he looks like someone I know. I was like, what?
Okay, well, and it wasn't Phil Hartman either. It was Tom Arnold, and that's way off.
Tom Arnold. Holy shit.
Now there's a big crowd, kind of coming through, random people. Oh my God, it's my uncle.
When you found out there was going to be a Spider-Man movie, were you like elated about that?
I was excited. I was always a huge Spider-Man fan, and it's been like my two top favorite heroes are probably Spider-Man and Batman, and so the fact that we'd already got some good Spider-Man movies, and now we were getting a cinematic feature for Spider-Man, that made me very happy. And they got the tears rolling, and bleh.
Yeah. Oh God, he has such an ugly ass cry face.
Dude, I don't know who has a good cry face. I'll be honest with you.
No, but like his is just horrendous.
And
It's like, do you know what I'm saying?
I know, but I love this. And it's it's the anguish turned into anger, and he wants revenge. It's pretty much the typical 2+2 for any hero, and I mean, I love how in this one, they got this part pretty well down. Him chasing after the culprit, and, the ex-pro wrestler.
So I have a question.
Huh?
Do you think I believe it was Martin Sheen
Yes.
that played Ben Parker? Do you think Martin Sheen played Ben Parker better than Cliff Robertson, or did Cliff Robertson nail it better?
Honestly,
because I thought that Sheen was more believable.
I could see that, but I also think that could be good just because Sheen's a better actor. And I'm not putting down Cliff at all. I think he's a fantastic actor. I think he did really good in this for the short amount of time that he had to tell a story. And I believe some of the scenes that he did were really well done. But for Sheen is just a fantastic actor.
Agreed.
And here we are. We actually have it's his first web slinging. This is the first time doing this, and he's learning on the fly. He's learned how to shoot it, learned how to swing, and now he's going from building to building, traversing over the traffic to try and keep up with the police chase.
I don't know if we caught that, but if you just heard a pop noise, that was totally my neck.
Dude, I may have popped my jaw earlier. I don't know if I may have been during the break, but
oh, well, to each his own.
Some really well done shots here of him kind of going over the traffic.
Yeah, I mean, if you really pay close attention, there's so much green screening.
Oh yeah.
That, I mean, they did it nearly flawlessly, and this was when movies were starting to get really good about not showing off how.
I like this shot here too, of him on top of the semi-trailer.
Yeah.
And he's keeping his eye, and he's got at the bridge, and he just goes ahead and jumps over. I mean, this is his real first incursion as, kind of going out and being Spider-Man. This is what pretty much cements it.
Yeah. And there's wreckage, and then the police show up, but he, of course, wrecked into a big steel gate, didn't damage the car, and he just runs into the building.
When you look at the lines, and of course we're watching this on mute, get a unit in the back, and then you hear, I've got the rear.
Oh, yeah.
The lines themselves are just kind of a little homoerotic there. All of this, just so we could rob a crooked wrestling promoter. I like that shot.
That is a great shot.
It's kind of weird, though, because it's like, you would think that would be something that he just, how did he know to do that?
It was his spider instinct, I guess.
So the spider bit him, and now he's just got the instincts. I mean, I know he's got the sense, and that's a good shot there, too.
Unbelievable that you could kick a knife up into the ceiling and have it stick, but also unreal that he, unmasked in front of him.
Oh, no. That's very true, I think, because they look each other in the eyes.
I guess that's true, yeah.
But I do like the actual anger that that Toby brings to this scene.
That guy that's playing the guy that killed Uncle Ben looks like Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah. And that was a weird little sequence there. Oh, I love the fury, and as you said, he's got really buggy eyes. And I like how they didn't actually have him shove him out. He died of his own clumsiness, but
Got what he deserved, man.
He did, but it sort of keeps Spider-Man kind of true to to the person that he's going to become, that he doesn't actually kill people. Unlike the '89 Batman and Batman Returns, where Batman's just killing everybody.
Yep.
And then the new comic where he's walking around with bunny ears and a gun.
He is not a... I'm not even going to say it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And now he's morose again. He's kind of...
He has got to be the mood-swingingest bitch of all time. Actually, there's an action figure I had that was kick-ass because it was that little eagle head thing, right? And then Spidey dangled down from it. And then there was also a Green Goblin from this movie with the glider that was badass. And then I sold them because I'm an idiot.
Now, I want to know, so that thing happened with Uncle Ben, and he went off and did his thing. I wonder how much time that actually took, and did she know? Did they get a hold of her or anything?
And does she not question Peter? I found out from the police that Ben is dead, but you were supposed to be with him, and that's been 7 hours, or 4 hours, or whatever.
Where the hell were you?
We'll assume the wrestling event got done at 9:30.
And who studies that late anyway? At a big library?
Yeah.
What time would that library close?
That's a good question.
I like how he kind of looks like kind of like an X-wing pilot.
He does look like an X-wing pilot, quite a bit.
Yeah, it's... Oh my God. Of course, we got the sabotage here from the Green Goblin, of course.
That's another shot that made me sure that that's the guy from Ghostbusters 2. His scream face.
Now we go straight to graduation.
They didn't bullshit around with it at all.
I wonder how much... And they don't say how much time has passed.
That's really interesting, too, because it seems like it was very recent, but was Parker really almost getting ready to graduate? That's a pretty devastating thing to happen to a kid.
I know. It's at such a pivotal point. And this is obviously the first time that those two have talked, Norman and Peter here. And this is what I was talking about in the first part earlier on, is when it's sort of him... Even at this point, there's something going wrong with Norman, right? He's not the right person. He's not who he really is. But I love how Harry sort of feels dejected, and Norman goes right to Peter and talks to him, and tells him, you're welcome. I'll help you, anything you need. And even he sort of accepts Peter, and I like that a lot because that speaks a lot to their dynamic later on. And of course, in the comics and everything, for their it's almost like it's almost like a Batman and the Joker, near family, and then they kind of had the thing, and of course, eventually they find out each other. And now we're back to him sort of kind of closing out. You're right. This is very mood swingy, but at the same time, it's
he's back to crying. He was just numb. And now he's got the single tear, though. And the other one's threat. Oh,
there it is.
There it is. They're two. He cried 2 singular tears for Ben after everything happened. And it's morning. They just got home and it was night. And it's morning, and he's still in the same clothes he was in. Am I crazy, or am I seeing this?
It looks like there's sunlight.
That's sunlight. But it was just nighttime.
I know, it wasn't the sun was not setting. It was full night. And I like her performance here as well. She does a damn good job for the rest of the film.
I totally agree. There's the scene. Well, we'll get to it in the hospital, but great.
Yes. She definitely becomes his rock during this tough transitional period for him. Bless you.
Watch you.
To watch you.
That was not one of those.
He blames it all on him. And And that's what I was talking about earlier with the whole, like, him being... They had to play up him being irresponsible. And they had to plant the seeds before they had this, like, with the whole painting of the kitchen thing. They had to plant that in before him messing up the meeting.
Couldn't they have been more tactful about it, though? Okay, so he... Is this the very next day he graduated from, like, the night before? Because that's, again, kind of what it's seeming like the more I watch this.
Who draws on graph... I mean, never mind. I guess I answered my own question. A nerd draws on graph paper.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, maybe I should do something with this.
How in the fuck did he afford this kind of fabric?
Dude, I don't know.
And did he sew it himself?
Yes. It's kind of like... Thought to believe that he... I mean, isn't that the mythos is that he creates his own costume?
Correct, but I mean... Have you seen this fabric? That's very comic booky, the way they just did this whole sequence.
Oh, yes. It's not nearly as bad as the first, the Hulk film. Yeah, with Ang Lee. Is that who directed that?
Ang Lee's Hulk was terrifying.
That's a good shot. I like that.
Agreed.
That's a callback to that trailer. And I do like this, though, because the way that they're doing it, and they're talking to just, like, you know, all the everyday citizens. And, you know, Spider-Man is a character who isn't always loved. Some people have, like, very irrash feelings towards him. Which, that's an interesting thing, because a lot of other heroes are just, like, idolized, you know?
When did he have time to write that? Does he write that with everyone or only the hot ones?
Just the hot ones, I guess. I love this.
We should all give him a great big hug.
I liked how they kind of worked in that old Spider-Man theme song. Again, this movie is very popcorny at times. And now, this is gold right here.
J.K. Simmons puts on a masterpiece of a performance as J. Jonah Jameson.
He is. It's beautiful. I absolutely love him. And the newer one, I don't care if they recast the whole thing. If they get him to come back, I'll be happy.
And he has said he would do it. Very willing to do it, actually.
It's like, come on.
Oh my gosh! Did you realize who that was?
Oh, that was
Is it Elizabeth Banks? Is that her name? It is, and she was in The Hunger Games. And she's also in Slither. Shout out to Veronica for getting Sarah and I to watch Slither. It's a weird, fucked up movie, but it's awesome. That would be a great one to riff track.
That'd be neat.
If you've never, especially, I'm like, have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
So see, I would like to watch it with you and get your riff track as you're watching it for the first time. It would almost be hilarious.
I like how, like, the TV in the background of him sitting by his desk is like, it's been a couple different things. Like, it was a newscast, and then they had like a monster thing going on. And now they got like
somebody scuba diving or spelunking.
I know.
Moondance Diner.
Now here's girl next door at her girl next door job with her girl next door jacket. Doesn't even notice him, but he notices her and chases her down, and she's embarrassed. Oh
shit! Let me cover up like I'm a prostitute.
Standing right in the middle of the damn street too. But does it? Hold on. Does it look like they're in front of a green screen?
A lot of it, yeah. Actually,
dude. So we're watching this on like the Blu-ray, and
it definitely
when it shows her and you see the cars go by,
it looks very fake, as well as the car behind him.
Okay, that's very interesting. It's almost like to get the shot that they wanted for it, they had to do that and sort of post and do that in a studio.
I like how she just flashed her titties at him, but not really.
Yeah, she goes, "I'll check out this somewhere in this."
You'll see more of these later.
Oh yeah, and the rain too. Oh. It's like the best part of the movie almost. I don't like the way they introduce things. Like, aren't you living with him? Oh yeah, right, that. And that's how they introduce the fact that he's living with Harry. It's like they don't introduce it to you. They have to bring it up in passing. again, this is the first time that they've talked in quite a while. These two characters, and I like that he's now very more comfortable, a lot more comfortable around her, but he's still got his awkward moments, like here.
He said, let's get lunch some evening. Lunch is at lunch. Evening is dinner or supper, depending on how you grew up. For me, it was supper.
Supper. Now it's dinner. And it was funny, my grandma used to call lunch dinner.
My grandma did as well, and the couch was not a couch. It was a Davenport.
I never heard that one.
Amazing.
Again, they got their little cool apartment here.
Storm and Norman Smiley.
Storm and Norman. Doing the big wiggle over there.
Yes.
So I like how he's got like kind of a dejected look. It's like he wished he would have done better with MJ.
A name drop of Dr. Connors. Yep. Never went anywhere, really.
Never in this trilogy.
They teased it a lot, and it never develops.
Yeah. So wait a minute. He's dating a mystery girl.
And Mary Jane just found out that Parker's living with Harry.
And she didn't tell him.
Also true.
She's a bitch.
She sucks fat cock.
I like this scene. This makes him respect him so much. Well, I couldn't have done that anymore.
That was perfectly timed.
You
took the words out of Storm and Norman's mouth.
It definitely does. As I've been saying this whole movie, Norman has a lot of respect for him, and he wants to help him.
I think I don't agree with how they tried to shove so much of the source material in the first movie, and then see the problem. The problem with the second two movies, that not these two, but the Amazing Spider-Man movies, is that they didn't put enough of the original source material. Like, there was no real mention of Daily Bugle or Jonah.
Right.
For two movies. There were little quips about, taking pictures or whatever, but there was not a close bond relationship like this.
Right. Well, see, that... You also got to think of the path that they went down for those two movies as well. They didn't even introduce MJ into it at all. And for this one, they just didn't even do Gwen Stacy. In fact, they kind of put her in.
They did.
That's what I was saying. They did her in the third movie, but it's for the actual timeline of things, they messed around with it a little bit.
It's weird because as much as I love this movie, it seems we're tearing it apart, and I don't think that's really the intent here, folks. I just think that we're looking at this objectively.
Oh, definitely. That was one of the things when I said I wanted to do the movie. It's got its flaws, but it's not a terrible movie.
There are a couple flaws we'll talk about later, Brando, that drive me insane about this film.
All right.
And when I explain exactly why, you're going to go, oh, shit, I get it.
Well, I hope I do.
You will. You will. I said that off mic. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We're all just kind of...
Some technical difficulties tonight, folks. My mic was making a weird buzzing noise when I touch it like this. I don't know if you can hear that in the recording, but we'll see. The thing is that is annoying, so I cannot touch the mic, so I have to be leaned over into the mic, and it is probably really not good for my back, but whatever, I'll live.
Yeah, we're just kind of sprawling here on the couch, and I like this a lot. This really sends him over the deep end. This whole board meeting here, and they're looking at him like we've already made our decision.
Your words don't matter. What?
Do what now? Oh yeah. They made a Tinder. Oh yeah, they're definitely screwing him over, and that's really gonna. He's already had he's already has a psychosis problem, but this is really what lights that fire under his ass.
Oscorp is his baby.
I know.
mean, it's his name. It's his life.
There it is. Oh, yeah. I love his performance in this movie. I like how he does that really, like... See, and now he's going...
He's gentle and he's violent.
Yeah, he does such a damn good job in this movie. It's a shame that the outfit had to look the way it did.
Power Ranger.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's not as bad as what I'm saying it is, really, but...
And I mean...
But he's just... I feel like he's much more menacing, and I feel like he's a lot more effective without the mask on.
Are those balloons CG?
Maybe in a shot. They definitely kind of looked it. Dude, they're all body banging back there.
They are.
And
hardcore.
there's Macy Gray.
Correct. The song, which was on the Spider-Man soundtrack, was Nutmeg Fantasy. That's a little bit of fun fact trivia from your boy Nate here. I own that soundtrack. Has a lot of great tracks, including Hero, which some people bitch about, Nickelback.
And there's the reveal. He sees it. His mystery girlfriend.
Busted like a motherfucker.
Oh.
Why is she look all Japanese here? It's like not even...
Yeah, she's got the lacquered chopsticks and everything.
It makes no sense at all to dress her like this for this scene.
No, not really. I mean, it's a style, but I didn't realize that she was very into the...
Japanese culture.
Yeah. Oh, denied. She has a very amazing jawline.
Her earrings are fans.
What?
You know, like the little...
Oh, okay. The little you Japanese fans. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember what those are called. I like how everyone's moving around him in like a circle. It's almost like he's in a pit.
And he's just standing
A very
still.
slow pit.
Yeah.
These guys are assholes.
Oh, totally. Because they're just suckering him in, you know.
Yep. Singular wireless.
What a sick shot, though, here. With
I
the
know.
glider, with the smoke coming out of the glider. The entire, just, again, I'm big on cinematography, and I really love how this entire scene plays out.
That's a glider. Oh, yeah. Of course, this is the public reveal of the Green Goblin.
But those were my balloons.
Again, yeah, another sort of tie-in to the bat. I like that. And, of course, he's going to be taking some revenge.
Of course. I do kind of like how Green Goblin looks. It's very uniform, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, see, the helmet is what does it for me sometimes. Because I just feel like, I mean, there's one scene where later on where you see his eyes, and I think it works very well. But, and there's the first cameo of Stan Lee.
Correct. This was the first time they did that with him, right?
Was he in X-Men?
You know what? That's another thing that if we had our phones on us, we'd look.
Maybe he was a security guard or something. I don't know. I know David Hayter was. Superman reference.
Yeah. Wait, David Hayter was in X-Men?
He wrote X-Men 1 and 2.
Wait, what?
Yeah, David Hayter, the guy that voiced Solid Snake for so many years from Metal Gear Solid, wrote the X-Men 1 and 2. And then he was in the very end. Oh, man, that was pretty violent.
That's a different kind of pumpkin bomb.
It is. It totally like evaporated him. So now, see, you really can't see his eyes with that helmet.
I agree, because they are all buggy and yellow. One thing I didn't really like about it is how the mask has like these fanged teeth looking all menacing, but then you can still see his normal-ass mouth talking under it.
It's like the screen.
Hey,
I like how he's telling him to move, and he totally had time to just go ahead and go get him.
It's a reenactment of that state fair in Indiana that one time.
Oh, no.
Too soon? I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You can totally see his lips. I mean, I like the teeth, but... now, hold on. All this helmet makes me think of is the Maximum Overdrive.
I was thinking Ivan Ooze, kind of.
Okay, yeah, maybe a mixture. Oh, man.
That dude takes it in the dome.
He just took it really hard, man. That sounded dirty. That's a button. But, I don't know. I think it would be better if you could see his eyes and not the mouth.
That is another reference to Batman. Because, dude, when Batman's in the glider and he's shooting, or when he's in the Batwing and he's shooting at Joker, who's standing in the street, that was like a reverse reference.
Some of the green screen effects in this movie don't translate well to high def.
Correct.
But again, I mean, that's a product of the time. You know, it's not every. When you start getting into the era where they're using a lot of effects, then you're really gonna notice it. And as technology gets better.
Okay, here's one thing I want to reference with this time frame. I want you to think about this. Brandon, typically when do you graduate from high school?
When do you?
Like what month? Months?
Oh,
Give me a generalized month.
May or June.
Okay, correct. All this shit's happening. But what happens nearly immediately after? It's Thanksgiving.
So, yeah.
So he graduates and then all of a sudden it's Thanksgiving, but there's no snow or any sign of cold on the ground in New York.
Well, okay, you can have without snow or anything like that, but it's going to be interesting. We'll have to keep our eye out because
look how people are dressed. They're dressed casual. That's not cold.
This isn't
weather.
Halloween yet, though. I want to say this is maybe September because they just started living together, and I don't like the way he's so stiff in that shot, swinging with MJ. But
just like
yeah, he's just like it's like he's a robot, but. No, they just started living together, and they started living together for the fall because Norman was checking up on them to make sure they were doing it and settled in well and everything. And that was the first moment of him trying to be humorous, the humorous Spider-Man.
Yeah, and also she took a explosion to the face and had one tiny little charcoal mark on her cheek.
Hey, man.
And nothing wrong with that dress. And she even still has her little sash thing that goes behind her.
Dedication. What can you say?
She just fucking held still that whole time.
Oh, Harry's getting jealous
of the man spider.
Yep.
Who is Parker?
And do you, is it wrong to me to think that Peter's kind of a dick for like?
I was just going to say that
enjoyment out of this.
He's a dickhead right here because he knows.
Yeah, he knows. Harry doesn't know that he knows, or does he know? At this point, I think they now look at he's freaking laughing about it. Don't let the bed bugs click.
Old ass Nokia cell phone.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god.
All right, so he knows now. Yep, and he's sort of being apologetic about it. He goes, "It's okay. She likes me better right now." She totally felt my junk when we were swinging across the dang skyline.
For true.
Yeah.
Do you think he pops chub sometimes when he's holding chicks and swinging them?
Well, fuck, wouldn't you?
I mean, right?
I'd be shooting web at something else. Hey, man, it's all natural.
It is. I can't get over that dresser in the background. I used to deliver dressers that look like that, and they're ridiculous.
Oh, really? Kind of like...
Why do you have to have the twirly things? It's a fucking dresser.
Yeah. Fade to black. And now I think we have a passage of time now. But they don't really say it.
They don't, and it still seems like... I mean, if that's true, this story is developing really, really slowly.
It is, and I love this. This is the manifestation
of Green Goblin.
Well, I mean, it's like he's two different people, you know, and it's almost like the one side of him doesn't really get the other side. It's like they're existing at the same time. And there are times where he's where the goblin part of him kind of goes to sleep for a little bit, and I love this reveal.
The mirror shot.
Yes. And this is why I think he's fantastic in this. I mean, because he's acting by himself and he's talking to two different characters. There's Norman and then there's the goblin. Bam. And then he goes back into, what do you want? And then the facial changes, and he's really, really getting into it. I love his eyes.
He has a great crazy face.
It's like he's like, what? You killed them? No, we did.
We killed them.
I like that there's like the Norman part of him. It's like as mad as he was, he didn't want it, right? And then, but then he sort of accepts it.
Yeah.
He is totally fantastic with his facial expression. I mean, Defoe has a really interesting facial expression anyway. You know, he really has a lot of control. That, yes. I feel like that is way more effective than the Goblin Mask. I like how most of the dang I like how most of the spider villains come up come up with through JJ, just giving him a name to put in the paper. It's a great line.
I know. I'm so enthralled right now. I'm just like, oh, I love this part. Interesting how this all works, though, because there's the cigar coming back, and here comes the Green Goblin pissed. You know?
Yeah. And it just so happens that Parker's there.
And this is a good showing of Parker needing to be at two places at once. But I kind of agree the more I look at the eyes, the less I feel good. Yeah, but there we go. Speak of the devil.
And see, they kind of make them look like eyes, but I really feel like the Norman's eyes would have been fantastic because see, he does this whole bit, and then they go up to the other building, and he ends up talking to him.
I think this actually.
Yeah. I haven't seen this movie in a while. I actually meant to watch this before we did this, but I wasn't expecting to do this.
I think I've watched it 4 times since we made the idea. Yeah.
Really?
I wanted to get a good feel for it. I don't think I got through it every time. Let's be honest.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. There.
Yes.
The eyes. I really like that.
Now, question.
Yeah.
Would you have thought it was badass, and I mean, this is just me, if they would have almost, you're going to see me air quotes, Brando, you guys won't see this, but if they caned him, where they put, like, green around his eye, like, green face paint around his eyes.
Do the whole Batman 89 thing
Kinda.
where they put the black paint.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the eye holes are a little big. I think I like it like that, honestly, because it's a person in there. And
I like this, how he just crumples down next to him.
Yeah, he's sitting there. And honestly, I think that's the way that the whole thing should have been. I think maybe have it like that most of the time, but when stuff really starts getting heated up, then he closes the eyes, kind of like kind of like a visor.
Yeah, or when he's flying, because you don't want bugs in your eyes.
I know, but see, I just kind of feel like that this right here, because like I do like a close up, when unless you really piss me offline. That he does, and I love the expression. It's the same thing that I said about the Bane, and then the Dark Knight
Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. He tells so much with his eyes, and see, okay, now they go down, but if they had that most of the time, I would have no problem with the look.
There's no date. I was trying to look at the date, folks, so I could get a better reference of where we are. Because, again, I think we're supposed to assume that some time has passed, and I just don't quite believe she still is. Look at how.
Oh yeah, this is the scene, folks.
It is the scene, folks. But again, we're supposed to be getting closer and closer to Thanks Turkey Day.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just shows up. Like it's just around the corner. And
I like how he is expressing how hard he's come just to come see her.
How hard he's come, huh?
Well, okay. How far he's come to come see her.
There you go.
And even though, she's saying that she's, that she's kind of failing, and he just wants to be there for her. He's kind of taking advantage of Harry not really knowing how
Her. He doesn't know her.
Yeah, no.
To her, to Harry, MJ is just kind of like a prize. She looks nice, but there's no use for her, if that makes sense. And he tries to, say he's interested in her and confide in her and stuff, but there's such a discord.
I love this because he's trying to say, well, I don't want to, I don't want to suggest anything. And she's like, really? Come on. You're bringing on a little strong here. But she knows how much, and there it is, the first
Tiger.
Yeah, and I love that line because that's so synonymous with MJ.
And it was subtle.
It was.
It wasn't like a big setup, a lot of playing.
And this is the big reveal of her nipples.
I was not expecting that. That was amazing. But yes, it is. Crazy thing, actually, during the whole fappening, her pictures got leaked, but she was totally cool with it.
Was she?
Yeah, I have them if you want to see them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometime.
But no, so like she was like really cool with it?
Yeah, she didn't care. She's like, whatever. I mean, it was publicity for her.
Yeah.
She'd been on the spotlight for so long.
Now, there's a lot of quick camera movements here. Him kind of taking care of that.
There they are.
Yep, it's definitely cold this night. Mask is off. And a lot of quick action here. And, of course, she really can't get a good look at who he is. It's wet and
Lightning
dark.
is happening, too.
Somehow she dodged both of those guys. Shadows play. I gotta go. Yep. Now, where wasn't his mask the other direction?
I think so. God, they
are sticking out. They did this on purpose.
Of course they did.
And this is a good scene. I really like this a lot.
It's very memorable. There are people that have this scene tattooed on their arms. Do you know that?
No, but I mean, I think it's very cinematic. I think it makes it special. It's like, what can we do special with Spider-Man and a girl that would make it stand out? And doing the upside down kisses, it's very well done. Although I can just imagine how much of a pain it would be for all that water to be going up his nose.
Right? And to wear a damp-ass mask.
I know.
What's up with those neck veins, bro?
I know, man. He's like he's getting waterboarded. That had to be so awkward to shoot. They kind of linger on it a little long.
Just make out with my bottom lip as hard as you fucking can.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
And
we're stopped.
I like how she's like, I'm going to put it all the way back down. Nope. Okay, but she did put it all the way down.
And she smiles and bounces.
I know. And slow motion.
Yeah, what's up with that? Respectable, though, of Mr. Parker to not cop a feel there.
I know.
I mean, that's like a clear opportunity missed.
Well, her hands are kind of covering up his face.
See, this scene, look at the weather. Okay, I want you to be very close attention to all of this. Look how people are dressed.
She's wearing a jacket. Or
light jacket. That person's in a T-shirt. Okay, you don't have any heavy... That chick's got a...
jean jacket.
A jean jacket, and it's sunny, okay?
It's always sunny in Manhattan.
Apparently, right? So this happens, and I keep mentioning... Look, she's wearing a nighty dress and doesn't look cold.
Well, she was inside the building.
Yeah, but she doesn't look cold. I'd be shivering as shit, because I hate the cold.
Yeah, but you got to think about when they're filming this. Also, it's like...
That's also true.
Oh, there she shivered, but I think she's nervous.
Or she's trying to...
Yeah, nobody's wearing short sleeves as far as I could tell. So that was a good shot.
And then the scream.
It sort of seems like it's a random act of kindness or just him helping out, And of course, this is a good shot here. He's wanting to bring him in, and then he's like, "I'll be here." I like. Have you noticed? Okay, that you can't see Spider's jaw move when he talks.
Yes, I have noticed that.
So it's almost like all these lines were just overdubbed later on. He just stood there.
I don't think that Tobey Maguire has a strong enough jawline to pull off that shape.
Yeah, probably not.
So I'm sure there was probably some sort of mask he had to wear that was heavy.
He's awfully tall.
The shriek right here, and then the punch in the face that takes you through several walls.
Pretty much, yeah. This was just a big trap. Just to talk to him again.
This is such a badass scene. This was like, hey, Matrix, you did it one way, and we are so much fucking cooler. Because this is awesome looking.
Yep.
Just avoids it. He's got a couple more. He repositions. He goes. He ducks. He's got them all. Everything's cool.
Except for one.
And then that one.
They keep flying around like Frieza's like death rays.
This one. Yep, there it is.
Or his little destructo discs.
He ducks. They smash each other. That punch trajectory didn't make any fucking sense. He punched him straight in the face and he shot upwards. I've never punched a guy and made him go upwards, but...
And, of course, he made his exit. And now they got to meet up for Thanksgiving dinner. I like the little segue here. It's like, so, how now, we know this hasn't been a long time since this fire, because when Peter gets back in, it's like he's just getting in. And of course, Norman shows up here. Are you telling me that he doesn't smell like a chimney?
Correct, right? He's got to just smell like burnt.
It's like, I know he's wearing a suit, but come on, man, that's gonna embed in your skin till you take a shower.
And he was sweating, so it had just happened.
Cranberry sauce. And see, now he's just coming back in. He's like, I got to meet up for Thanksgiving dinner.
He's eyeballing the fuck out of MJ.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
Norman is like, I'm going to eat you for dinner.
And so he just gets in. They come up, of course. I love this scene. I love the cutaway there, like there was no stop, right?
Correct.
And then, of course, the blood is still... It hadn't... Are you telling me...
And the time it took, it didn't scab over?
Or at least congeal?
I mean, that's like it's fresh. He must have been 1 block away.
Now, in the movie, did that not look like pasta sauce?
Or ketchup.
Yeah.
It's right there. That's ketchup.
There's something weird going on here, he says. Go over here, look up. Is Peter Parker Spider-Man? Or is he just a really agile individual? And I'm here, and I don't smell like smoke either. I like how, Norman is now, just okay, I'm Norman again. You know, the Goblin is going to
And Parker is a total just moron.
Why didn't he put a dang bandage on? He's already late.
No, here's my question, Brandon. Why did he wear a light-colored shirt? Wear black. No one's going to notice fucking
bam
blood on black. She smacked him.
I love that because you know that he's already going psycho. And that's actually kind of this whole thing, him sharpening the knife, is sort of like a kind of foreshadowing for later.
Busted.
Uh-oh. You got cut in the same area where you're...
It's a super clean cut, though.
Something really sharp must have got that. I like how he's just like, oh, really? Really? You know, because Norman's not a dumb individual. And then Peter's such a bad liar. He has no other marks on him.
And here's the funny thing. This is something that is interesting. from Peter's perspective, he has no idea what the fuck is wrong with Norman.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize that's who he was. And to him, just bike messenger, I just tell this basic ass lie. But in his head, maybe now he's starting to, what's going on? This is very strange.
I like this too. He pretty much dresses down MJ. Like, she wants the money, just like your mom did. And this is where, Norman's not that much of a dick,
He's just being protective of his kid.
But I mean, the Goblin's really kind of coming in with this and being cold-hearted.
Yeah.
Because all the other scenes in this film that we have, just standing alone, not going towards any other, comics or anything. Norman is a very kind individual to his son. He cares about his son, but to Peter, and then after the whole thing with the experiment happens, he kind of changes. And
I like how everybody calls her Aunt May, by the way.
yes,
Every person.
yes,
This scene.
yes. I like how they didn't go back to the mirror again.
Correct. They're now using the mask.
The mask, yes, as a representation. So now it's there, and here's what I'm talking about, because Norman's like, no, I can't, he's my son's friend and he's family. He's like, and then the Goblin part of him is like, but he's Spider-Man, he needs to be taken out, but he's so weak that to the Goblin part of him, and he's just like, he's not really like, he doesn't want to do it, but he's a slave to it, And so that foreshadowing with the knife, and of course Aunt May's praying on the bed next to a picture of Aunt Ben.
Aunt Ben and Uncle May. Dude, that debris was so fucking close to her skull just then.
I know. This is actually a pretty
Remember
good scene.
when you slapped me?
Finish it. I did like that. I liked that scene a lot, and I would have liked it better again if you would see his eyes all wide. And,
Yeah.
I
don't know. I play that dialogue in my head a little different. To me, he's like,
It was kinky when you slapped me.
You just slapped me, and I liked it, dude. Man, you almost see like Aunt May boob.
yeah, what's up with that?
I guess she's like, hey, we got enough. Kirsten Dunst boobage. We need to get a little bit of, the elder action in here.
I thought you were going to call her Old May.
Old May.
Old May.
Old May, young May. I like this scene a lot as well. I know I've said that quite a bit. But I wanted to just kind of say that, I'm not just trashing this movie. I am being critical of it, but there are a lot of scenes in this movie that I like a lot.
It is a great film. It's just it didn't translate into the future so well.
And that's what's interesting is that a few weeks ago on the Nerds of the Round Table, we had a discussion about current films and them translating later on. And it's very interesting because one of the reasons why I say that this film doesn't translate well is, partially because of effects. And how's that going to change for modern movies going along for the future?
It's hard to say because now modern technology, it's almost impossible to spot when it. I mean, if it's CGI because it's like planets and shit that we don't have,
right?
That makes sense. Or big, humongous monsters that don't exist in the real world. But even those are so high quality now that you can't necessarily tell.
Right, but how are these effects going to look 20 years from now?
Well, that's what I'm saying. How much further can they even go?
Right. I mean, and it's going to get better.
I mean, are they going to get to a point where animated movies look like real people?
Right, that's nuts.
I mean, could you imagine that?
I like how she's waking up here and she's like kind of pretending like she's still asleep just to hear him talk to her, because I think that I think that she knows that Peter's always had kind of something for her, for MJ. I guess I should say that. If you're not watching the film, it's just kind of funny. Just Peter's got something for this one girl.
It's weird. If you aren't watching this, thanks for taking a gamble just listening to us ramble on about Spider-Man shit, because this is going to sound very disconjoined, I think.
Well, I don't think it's as bad. It's her first time doing it.
Whatever, we're having fun.
I like this. He's like, I know the guy. I'd take us some pictures of him. He's like, he kind of likes you too. And she's like, really? I could have swore I felt his hand on my nipple. Oh, man. I like how this gets really, like, deep. And it's like this. She's like, she has to be so naive not to know that's coming from him. The way he's spacing it out, the way he's talking.
Do you see her girl boner growing in front of her? Like, it's getting just stiff. It's just popping up. Because he's just pouring his heart out to this girl. There's a lot of naivete when he's doing it.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's very vulnerable. It's very Peter Parker, actually. And this is one thing that Tobey Maguire definitely nailed in this series. He definitely got the sadders. I mean, he might have a really terrible cry face, but
yeah.
The
the thing is that she's really feeling this. It's touching her. Metaphorically speaking, he as you said, he's pouring his heart out, and something like that. Maybe it wasn't right on, but she's, again, several times throughout this movie, she is like seeing how much he cares for her.
Friend zone.
I know.
Friend zone. Things
I
are
know.
getting hot and heavy quick. And there's this really beautiful moment happening, and then, of course,
Dun dun dun.
Bad Timing Tuesday.
And Harry walks in, sees them holding hands. Instantly is like, you son of a bitch. I just noticed something. I like how he has a very similar jawline to Willem Dafoe.
Correct.
I mean, it's not exact, but it's enough. Now he's stomping around going, Marg.
Look at that weird-ass fish in the background. You see it? Like the demon fish mask thing? Looks like a fish fin.
That is kind of weird. It kind of
On
looks
the
like
left side of the screen, folks, if you're watching.
It kind of looks like a mixture between an elephant and a Zora from like Zelda.
Okay, I can totally understand that.
Now this is the scene where he hears the cackling, and then he's like, "What was that?" Right about MJ. You're right about everything. She wanted the money, and she wants my best friend, who doesn't have money.
She's gonna blow Peter in the alley.
Yeah.
He's only loved her since the 4th grade.
Oh yeah. See, and I like this because
I can't believe I remembered that line. We aren't listening to this, folks.
I like how he's hurt, but he's friends with Peter, and he's like, he's upset, but at the same time, it's like, he doesn't know how to feel because he doesn't want to like be mad at Peter because Peter likes her, right?
Correct.
And-
He's just more disappointed.
Yes. I liked how during this part of the movie, the eyes of Willem Dafoe really showcase that other character that's inside of him, because this character is almost like he's pretending to be Norman.
Do you think if it was up to Norman, he would have... I mean, would Goblin have killed his own son to get at Peter had their relationship went a little differently?
Oh, I have no doubt. Probably.
I mean...
Now, okay, this scene. This is the second reference to Superman
Boom.
in a Marvel movie, and that's kind of interesting.
Well, Sony Marvel movie.
I know, yes, but when you think about it, at the time there was no Marvel Productions really big, like they're definitely not as big as it is now. And now Aunt May is sort of like saying, "Yeah, you had a thing for her the whole time, and I knew."
It's interesting. I can tell you something right now. Folks, I don't know if you know this about your Journey into Comics co-host Nate here, but I am 80% deaf in my right ear. And one thing that I have learned to become really upset about is subtitles. And I want to mention that just then they cut out something that I feel very strongly about in the subtitles, because I do believe that Aunt May says, Aunt May, is that an angel? But to us reading it, it was just one Aunt May. Just
Right.
Aunt May, is that an angel? You know, reading it very monotone because you're hearing what's being said. But they do that a lot, Brando. They
Yeah.
cut words or change phrases and shortcut it so it doesn't always narrate the same movie. I think that's the best way to say that.
Now, this is very interesting because of the little talk with Harry, Norman knows now who to target.
Of course.
And of course, it's like, and that's going to hurt Harry if anything happens to MJ. And then, of course, I like that little scene. It's pretty neat.
Okay, so Brandon,
tease.
this is the first scene that I have a problem with. And it's all about source material, buddy. This is almost shot for shot the original sequence of the death of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
She's up on a high thing, on a high bridge. I couldn't think of the word. She's on a bridge up high.
She's wearing some pretty gnarly looking slippers.
Night clothes. She runs pretty quick, it seems. And again,
It's got to be cold up there. I wonder if her nipples are sticking out again.
I was thinking that too.
Move your arm. Okay, never mind. Is it bad that I'm just waiting to see more nipples? And, okay, it's this late at night and you have this many kids on a trolley.
I was thinking that too.
It's like during the day, yes, but at night when it's completely dark out, where were they? But got a couple of rockets on the little glider there.
Big ass explosion.
Now, see, I don't have a problem with them mimicking the Gwen Stacy thing because obviously they didn't go in that direction at all.
Well, that's true, but the reason I don't like it is because it spoiled it for the Amazing Spider-Man series, because they couldn't shot for shot that, because it would have been, we already did that once.
Right, yeah.
You already took that from this world once, you know?
I can see your point. With
That's
that, I
again
guess.
why Harry is Green Goblin in the Amazing Spider-Man movies and not Norman. That's why, I mean, all the little nuances happen. Why it's in a clock tower and not on the bridge. Spider sling, that's pretty cool. I mean, pretty much if Spidey could do it, they gave it to him. You know, they let him. There was not, I don't think, I mean, aside from the Spidey-mobile, which is stupid.
This is the neat little climax, though, of this film.
Exactly.
Because they pretty much merged. And I like how her slippers are staying on. But
Batman Forever?
yes, right here. That's Batman Forever. Oh, slippers fall off.
They stayed pretty close to each other going down, by the way. I thought the wind would just be like, whoosh.
That's funny, because with the Batman Forever thing, there's no way that he could have saved both of those people.
Correct.
Because they were falling at two different times. But speeds and all that stuff. There's no way that Batman could have caught up to Robin. And but I definitely enjoy this. And I like what they do with the shot here with his eyes. With a close-up, you see MJ in one eye, and then the trolley of weird kids in the middle of the night. And of course he's gonna.
Parker's only been Spider-Man for kind of a short time, you know.
Not like this is year one, essentially.
This is his first major villain, and he already knows how to do some pretty technical shit.
He had a pretty cool summer, I guess, of practice.
Right? Like, I mean, he must have just been hammering the streets.
There you go. There's a good shot with the eyes coming through the helmet. Ahoy, matey! got a little tugboat coming up.
There's someone on that tugboat that's like a well-known. I can't think. Do they show it again? Yeah, because he landed on the tugboat.
All right, now, okay, so check this out. He wants her to climb down the cable and get down there. And the thing is that, can you imagine her getting one of those big long cables stuck in her foot?
Oh.
It's or in her leg.
Oh, dude,
Oh.
that would be so painful.
And because she's got to slide down like it's a rope, and you know those.
Love this shot, by the way.
Oh yeah, when he hits him,
The punch.
and then he does.
Everybody. No.
Not yet, not yet.
That was impossible just then, by the way. Her hand turned. If you rewatch
Here's
that,
the
CGI.
shot that I thought.
Oh,
he hits
I
him
love
and he does
it.
a backflip,
And then he grabs
He-
onto it.
almost loses it. Actually, he did lost it, but he gets it again. And here's where she look at this. I mean, she falls all the way down there and grabs that.
Yeah, no forking way, pal.
Are you, matey? Pull the boat up here.
I was wrong. Those dudes don't look like they're big wigs.
We are not familiar in any way. Well, and there's the introduction of the blades in front of the glider as he swings by to try and get up.
Of course, New York people are going to start throwing shit at a guy on a glider. You're messing with... Leave the kids alone.
That looks like that kind of looks like the same guy that played the crooked promoter.
Right?
I don't think it was. Arr, we got him, matey.
Why are her hands always ready to grab her own tits? You notice that?
I'm not complaining.
I mean, I'm not complaining either, but it's just a weird thing.
And here we go. We're going to the final showdown now, pal.
And again, more complaint. Because this is 100% without question, shot for shot, the original death of Norman Osborn. Spoilers for any of you that have not seen Spider-Man
love
from
this.
2002. Yes.
This was awesome.
And it explodes his mask.
Yeah, and it totally messes him up. And then you get the cool shot of the messed up suit. But what's your problem with it being shot for shot?
Because again, this was the death of Gwen Stacy, then the death of Norman Osborn. They were kind of like two peas in a pod, you know.
Okay.
And they again made it to where Amazing, which was gonna at least try to do the source material more correctly. I mean, they got closer than anybody else ever. Still don't understand why it was considered a failure, but I could go on for a whole nother podcast about that.
So basically, hold on. You're saying that your beef with this whole sequence is that it took away from the other films.
Well, it unintentionally did because they took multiple things from the source material and tried to cram them into one movie.
Well, of course they would. I mean, at this point, they're thinking this is our shot. We may only get one of these.
Well, yeah, that's true, but to me, I don't know. You only get one of these, and you're going to kill the Green Goblin, one of the most prolific characters in the history of Spider-Man?
Okay, you have to think is that we lived in a time and era where superhero villains didn't survive.
That's true.
And think of all the big Batman villains. None of them.
Joker, dead. Catwoman, dead.
Okay, no, Catwoman didn't die. But
That's right.
She wasn't in the other ones.
That's true.
And Riddler lived, but he wasn't in the other ones. And I guess none of the villains died.
Two-Face died.
No, Two-Face died, but none of the villains died in the Batman and Robin series. But this series, I just call it a series. Can you imagine that whole thing was a series?
No, it'd be one steaming pile of dump.
But again, here, this is my exact point about the eyes and the mask, man.
Oh, yeah,
it just
it tells
conveys
such a
so
story.
much. I just kind of wish they would have done that for the whole thing. And I really do like their little sequence here. He's really like bringing it, and he's really stepping up. Spider-Man, not
That was the one weird thing. Another thing that I don't like about the cinematography of this movie, as much as I really genuinely like it, that's a callback to Shredder.
yeah.
But when the wall's about to fall on him, he doesn't make any noise, but he like shakes his head, and it's just very awkward to me. Like you know that you're getting ready to have a wall fall on you, and you just like shake your head for a second.
Yeah. And it looks like the helmet's about ready to come off now.
Yeah, Spidey's pissed.
Because he doesn't know yet. Now Norman kind of comes through, and now it's the reveal of that it's been Norman the whole time. And I like how the Goblin part of his personality is using the Norman personality to catch him off guard. And it's like, because at this point Norman and the Goblin are pretty much fused.
Yeah, and he's just playing the game.
But the Goblin's pretty much taken over, but he's using that Norman personality to.
I like how as soon as like he thinks he's got the upper hand. He
Yep.
switches back to the Goblin.
Oh yeah, he's totally playing him in, and they're doing that thing with the remote control with the glider. And again, they do that again here, like we did in the beginning of the film. Spider-Man doesn't kill him.
Correct.
And man, Willem Dafoe is so good in this movie.
It's so dark and good.
He's calling back to I accepted you, and when nobody did.
It was actually Richard Parker. Ben was your uncle, you dumbass.
Well, he was saying
Godspeed,
Ben
Spider-Man.
was more of a father to him than Richard was, and he's penetrated
thoroughly through the center abdomen. I mean, you're not getting out of that one.
Oh no! Actually, it looks like it went right through his nuts if you look at it.
Really,
I like
actually
this.
does.
It just the line.
Don't tell Harry.
And that is very comic booky to me, but hey, it's a comic book movie, and there wasn't too much of that in this film.
Correct. It is in fact a comic book movie.
And I like the cutaway little sequence there, the end of the Goblin of some sorts, and conflicted Peter, kind of laying him to be found, and of course, hey, Mr. Turtleneck walks in. Harry sees Spider-Man with his. I like he's like, what have you done? What have you done? Is like he doesn't know his dad's dead yet.
Yeah, like, hey, Dad's just laying there asleep.
I know. He's like, what are you doing? You giving him a foot massage or what? But then, of course, now we have the funeral for the closing scene.
Wintry and really windy looking.
Yeah. And then, of course, that's the transformation of Harry as well.
True. It is the transformation of Harry.
And
He is becoming a darker character. I was talking into my hand for some reason. That was weird.
I'm talking into my hand.
Talking into my hand, Batman.
I like how he pretty much blames Spider-Man.
Wouldn't it have been funny if Parker would have just been like, don't do that. You don't want to go there.
I love it because this part right here, there wasn't much in this movie that explained the role of Spider-Man having the real world problems of normal people, with his role of Spider-Man affecting the real people around him, because Harry considers him a dear friend.
True.
And he has a large beef with Spider-Man, and so. And he says, "You're a real dear friend to me." And now, now of course he's put into that really awkward position of now he's like he has to play two cards.
It's again here we go with monologuing.
What's up with the no birth date or death date?
They weren't sure. Ben just was really fucking old. That was the only.
He's an old guy. Here lies an old guy.
Here lies old Ben Parker. He was old and shit.
I like how she grabs his hair when she hugs him. And
Honestly, Brando, I'm excited to do the next Spider-Man movie as well.
I am too.
Especially with Alfred Molina being an amazing Dr. Octopus.
Yeah. I liked him. I like now she's kind of pouring her heart out about how she feels. Sort of a reciprocation of the scene at the hospital. And I like how she's pretty much tearing up and kind of wearing her heart on the sleeve here, but he's learned a very valuable lesson throughout this, is that the mask is there to protect other people. It's kind of like the whole thing with most superheroes that do it. He decides to sort of push her away to protect her.
Correct.
Even though that's not what he wants. And because this is what he's wanted since he was 6. I really, and there it is. I love you. She says, she actually says, I love you. And then, of course, they kiss. And imagine what Parker must be feeling at this point. He's like, are you serious?
Is this their first kiss? As normal.
Yes.
And she still doesn't know, right?
No.
Officially.
No.
But she should know from the kiss, right?
Well, he was upside down.
No.
Yes, he was upside down as Spider-Man when they kissed.
No, I'm saying I agree with that, but what I'm saying is, wouldn't she still be able to figure out his style? I mean, really?
Well, I mean, have you ever kissed someone upside down and then kissed them right forward?
I don't know how to answer that question. Because
it's a yes or no question. Have you, like...
Well, yeah, like back in the day and shit. Like when I was a kid.
You've kissed people upside down when you were a kid?
I kissed a girl upside... I mean, yeah. Dude, after watching this movie, are you fucking kidding me? Of course I wanted to be a Spider-Man.
Okay, now I wasn't saying that you had to be upside down. I'm saying that, like...
No, but I would hang off the back of the couch. Yeah, for real.
But, I mean, it's a different sensation. It's a different feeling, so...
I mean, I guess that's
true.
true.
Oh, dude, he friend zones her.
Hardcore.
Boom. And she is crushed. He broke her heart.
She just got twat swatted.
She did. And he's heartbroken too, but he's trying to keep it together. Look at him. He's almost got the cry face going on. Oh, no, he's holding it together. But she's not.
Single
Nothing
tear.
compares to you, Sinead O'Connor.
A single. 'Cause
I like this, though. They do this little thing where she goes, no, wait a second.
See, she does remember.
But
it took her so fucking long. What's up with that?
See, and honestly, I call bullshit. I think she's like, but what if they're the same? No, it couldn't be. With great power comes great responsibility. As he's walking away, he's monologuing.
Wouldn't it have been funny if he would have ran to the other side of where the tombstones are, and Mary Jane would have thrown him 2 beers, and he would have got up, Stone Cold Spider-Man, you know.
And of course, this is the outro of him swinging across New York.
All CG style.
Yeah.
But super cool.
Yeah, this really places it to a moment in time. Because this movie was one of the first big blockbusters to come out after 9/11, especially to feature New York City in such a way.
Correct.
And so, of course...
And I do believe they made the decision to keep them out of it. They took any footage of the World Trade Centers out of this movie.
Yeah, they did. And there wasn't much there to begin with. But... the whole flag there and patriotic. And that is the movie, folks.
That was awesome, dude.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Altogether, I say it's a pretty damn good movie. There are some problems with it that plays it to a certain time. Some tropes that really don't carry over as well, some of the effects. But to be honest with you, there's not many things that I can place wrong with that film.
No.
Nothing that's really damaging.
No.
No.
And like I said, my few complaints and nitpicks and bitches about it are really things that are subjective. I mean, in 2002 when I saw that movie, is the fight sequence kick-ass? Yes, I loved it. I enjoyed it. And I thought that this was the only Spider-Man we would ever get. And then now, in the future, it's like, man, if they would have just stuck to the source material a little more closely, they could have made something really epic happen. And I think Amazing Spider-Man would still be a series, and we would not have which, again, I'm excited to see Marvel's Spider-Man, so we'll see.
See, I honestly think that the things that this movie did right, that the Amazing Spider-Man series, they strayed a little bit, and of course they didn't want to just remake the same movie, of course. But they did some things right as well. And I definitely want to get to Spider-Man 2. I definitely want to watch that and riff track that, because I think that is one of the rare instances where you have a sequel that's as good or better than the original.
I actually, yes.
Because, I mean, right off the top of my head, I can think of Dark Knight better than the original. Terminator 2 better than the original.
Empire?
Yeah. Empire, of course.
What about Secrets of the Ooze? No.
Not quite. I love the grittiness of the first Turtles film.
True.
I think the first film kind of keeps the tone of the movie very similar to the comics.
I don't know if we officially said this, but we can officially say now that our next riff track, I think we've decided on the fly we're actually going to do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Yeah, I would love to do that and then come back to do the next Spider-Man film.
Yeah, we'll probably jump all over the place, folks. And as always, Brandon and I are okay with requests. So if there's a movie that we might not think about or a movie that you would love to hear us talk on, maybe we've never seen it. Maybe we get to watch it for the first time and discover something, and watch something interesting. There are a lot of different superhero movies that we can do and a lot of different, sci-fi styled movies that we can do. There's a lot out there. And it's fun to do these things, right?
Oh, dude, it was a blast. And I also want to ask you guys to leave us any comments or, send us an email at journeyinacomicspodcast@gmail.com or whatever. Tell us what you thought of this and what we can do to improve. I mean, this was the very first time we ever tried anything like it, so obviously we'll get better. But I really just enjoyed sitting here talk about this film. It's a film that I look back on, and I think it is just a really good film, and it has a lot of good things about it. And yeah, same with you. I have a few minor things about it, and I got to kind of pick on it. But really, at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff I was picking on is very minor.
I agree with that, yeah.
So, I mean, unlike another one in this trilogy, which I feel like when we get to that, we're going to be really tearing it apart.
When we get to that, honestly, I think I've only seen, and we're talking obviously about Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen it like 3 times total. And
I may have seen it twice.
That being said, honest to God, sitting here, my fault. I don't really remember much of the movie. I know there's a shitty dance sequence.
Oh my goodness.
I know that, spoiler alert, Venom gets blown up by a goblin bomb, which is stupid.
I mean, when we get there, it's going to be a lot.
There's like
I definitely have a lot to say.
Crying wedding sequence that happens in the web. Something to that effect.
I mean, just think about it. With as good as this film is, and with as good as the second film is, and there are things that they get right and things that they get wrong. There's a lot of wrong in that third one for me. And when we get there, I'm definitely going to point it out. I don't want to be harsh, but I'm going to be honest. I have to be honest towards that film.
Just looking at it as a quick overview of the movies that I have, I think at some point we need to do Watchmen.
Oh, yes.
We need to do V for Vendetta.
Oh, I love that movie.
The Back to the Future series.
That'd be great.
Oh, man. Scott Pilgrim could be fun. I don't know if that would translate so well, but it could be good.
I've only ever seen it once.
It's really good. I mean, it's fun. I guess it's a fun movie. We could do T2.
Oh, definitely. We could do Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 just to pick on it a little bit.
Yeah. We could do the first Jurassic Park.
Oh, yes. That's the only one I really like.
Me too.
We could definitely...
Pulp Fiction. Reservoir Dogs.
See, and that's the bad thing about that is that I love those movies, and I think they're really well done, and it's going to be hard for me to find... It's like, I don't want to be too biased.
Well, you can't... I mean, okay, look, let's be honest. I'm a huge Pulp Fiction fan, so much so that I do consider it my favorite movie of all time. That being said, there are some funny things and weird instances, and there are things that, like the varying diner scenes and how the lingo has changed. And I'd love to talk about how that is not a fuck up. It's actually planned because it's supposed to be from 2 different people's perspectives. You would never hear exactly the same thing come out of a person's mouth.
You know what we could do? Is the Star Wars films.
Oh, all 6?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I know, that'd be a long time to do that.
In a galaxy far, far away? Dude, okay, so what about this? We have a big year, Brando.
Oh, we do.
As we close out this episode. We've got a new Avengers coming less than a month. We're weeks away, 2 weeks away. We've got Ant-Man coming.
Yep.
We've got Jurassic World coming. We have a Fantastic Four movie that I'm slowly, again, becoming a little okay with coming. We've got all these movies coming. Would it be wrong of us to, in December or in the months leading into December, us plan for 6 consecutive episodes of Journey into Comics to be the 6 riff tracks of the original Star Wars movies?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to depend on how well this does.
Those every episode or every movie would take 2 episodes of our show.
Oh, I know, and that's the problem. Is that it's just a matter of like kind of like overdoing it. It's like I really enjoyed doing this. This was really fun, especially, I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, but I know the film very well.
Look, we have a lot of movies, and we have a lot of time that we're going to be podcasting, so
Oh,
we'll get to all this shit. I'm just over, what's that?
Overthinking it?
No,
You look like Al Pacino doing your. Hey, what are you gonna do? Huh? What are you doing?
Is it overzealous that I'm trying?
There you go.
I'm trying to say there's so many things. There's so many riff track ideas I would love to just do, just for my own personal means, not even necessarily because our listeners like it. Because you guys might hate this, and we might be told, "Hey, don't do this anymore." That's fine by us. We create a whole nother podcast just on riff tracks. We don't care.
Well, see, the thing is that I would like to try it again and get better at it, because I kind of feel like we had a couple of times where we got a little grossed in the film, but we did. I don't think it went on for too long, though. I think we kept it.
Yeah, I think we kept it pretty pro. But let's go ahead and wrap this one up, Brando. This was a great second part of the episode. Again, folks, if you haven't, 2 weeks ago we released the first half of this episode, which was just the first 30 minutes, and we talked about Daredevil and a bunch of other cool things. And then last week's episode, we had Shuddy Boy on to discuss the Marvel Secret Wars event from 1984 and go over that whole comic event that was 12 books. So hopefully you checked that out, and hopefully you continue to check us out here at Journey into Comics. Again, I am your host, Nate Phillips.
And I am your co-host, Brando.
And we'll see you guys whenever we see you. Have a good one.
Later, guys.